So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Jafri Malin Abdullah to address us on the subject. Thank you.
Thank you very much, fellows of the Academy, Vice President, thank you for your kind introduction. And the Setiausaha of the Academy, I'd like to thank the fellows who elected me to be, I'm one of the young fellows, you know, most of the other fellows are a little bit more senior. So I appreciate that. You have given me a trust to propel neurosciences, and you know, looking at the minutes of the election of the new fellows, I saw it was quite tough. And I was fighting with other more esteemed and eminent people, and I'm very happy to be the fellow, and I hope I can contribute, because my reason to join the fellow is not to get a name and then put in my CV and then go to sleep, but to help people, and to help the young people from even primary schools, secondary schools, and also the universities. So I'm quite happy to see young people here, people which I do not know, people who I know, colleagues who are going to work with me for fun. You know, we got a student now. You know, working together. You know, we're trying to see how we can transgress neuroscience into chemistry, physics, biology, arts, music. You know, so that's very interesting. So it's a long title. Maybe we say sensationalized. Maybe, I don't know. But my objective here is to hopefully introduce neurosciences, the brain and the mind, to other non-neuroscientists. I think Professor Ishwar doesn't need to go through the whole series again. He knows it much more better than myself. But for the non-neuroscientists, with the objective of improving both the understanding of arts. Remember, why put arts in front, not science? Because arts started science, socialism and other paradigms that our brain and mind are responsible for. And we hope to put Malaysia on par, because we are very, very far away compared to our brothers and sisters in Southeast Asia, in Asia, and also in the world. So I hope you leave this room fulfilling these objectives, to understand the terminologies of brain, mind, and neurosciences, to understand the basis of these sciences via a fundamental applied and clinical sciences concept, and the philosophy of decade of the mind, because the decade of the mind has just started. And the reason why I'm presenting this today is because we were left behind in the genomic era. We're trying to catch up now. We're trying to catch up with nanotechnology, which is already so far forward. And I'm afraid that we might be left behind in the decade of the mind, because the decade of the mind has started. It's going to be the next 10 years. To understand and support the different branches of these sciences and its input into creative knowledge, skills, and creative researchers for the 10 and 11 Malaysia Plan within the new economic model. And also to initiate support from the Academy of Science, so that a center can be formed, hopefully, to do this. Because this is a big job to do. There's lots of things, So, I go back to the dark ages. I think some people who have attended my Professor Tan Sri Zulkifli Razak's talk, this slide is taken from one of his slides. Understanding the crisis by learning from the dark ages. So Europe went from the brilliance of antiquity straight into 10 centuries of darkness. And now they're back. Revival. The West is leading. So the question is how and why? So are we making same mistakes again? Are we chasing after things and losing it along the way? So I don't think Malaysia has time to lose, because we have to move forward. So as you look from this slide, you see the genomic era has left us. Where now you hear the words everywhere: nanotechnology, nanotechnology, nanotechnology. And I bet you very soon, when neuroscience, brain science, or mind sciences plops into the picture, then the Malaysians will be hollering in newspapers, in scientific articles within Malaysia, saying brain sciences, mind sciences, neurosciences. But to start something, it requires time. Human manpower is important. The young people in our room are these people who will lead Malaysia to the next era. Marvin Minsky, very smart guy, Society of the Mind, Scientific American, October 1994. Eventually, using nanotechnology, we will entirely replace our brains. Once delivered from the limitation of biology, we will decide and choose, amongst others, unimagined capabilities. The nature of intelligence and the mechanism of nanotechnology-based extensions add capacities and capabilities to human bodies, brains, and the lives. So this chap in 1994 has already started thinking forward. So again, we have to be careful. We have to know what's going on. Another book written by Robert L. Solso from the MIT Press, Mind and Brain Sciences in the 21st Century, where he predicts that learning and memory, effective and effective research will rise in numbers. Correct methods of learning and understanding. Different people have different levels of learning and understanding, and that's very important. Because in Malaysia, you talk about the UPSR and all the exam stuff that you're discussing around. This is very important. Every person has different levels of learning and understanding. And this is more important than, than anything else. So in our 29 million population of Malaysians, we have to know who they are, what capabilities they are. So brain sciences is very important. And magnetic imaging, electrical imaging will lead to correct decisions. We have to use technology to make these decisions. And whether you like it or not, psychologists and cognitive neuroscientists will lead the way. That's the future. So our Honorable Prime Minister launched a new economic model, and he focused on certain things: re-energizing the private sector to drive growth, developing a quality workforce, look at the word quality, and reducing dependency on foreign labor, strengthening the public sector, market-friendly, knowledge-based, sources of growth, sustainability. So you see a lot of words there are connected to the mind. We use the brain for everything. We use the brain when we want to get angry with someone, when we want to draw, when we want to sleep, when we want to go to the toilet, when you want to make children. You need the brain, and you need the mind. So the three strategies are via enhancing numerous interacting mindsets of new knowledge, or improving the de novo creation of educating the brain, challenging skills, whether hard or soft mind skills, and innovating creativity that depends on how one should dream strategies, following the blue ocean concept. This blue ocean concept is idolized, and by USM. But there is some truth in that. For those who drown in the red ocean, the blue ocean is important. So Najib says, the NEM must be market-friendly. Market-friendly. Mind, brain, friends. How do you make friends? It must be merit-based. Again, the mind and brain. It must be transparent, and it must be needs-based. How do you need someone? You need someone using the brain. Those things are important. So, from the principles to a plan, so this group of scientists, I showed a slide taken from Sains, where 10 neuroscientists met in Berlin, Germany on the 17th of September 2009 to look into similar issues with input of brain, neuro, and mind sciences. And they came out with 3 universal themes. Number 1 is education, which is also important in Malaysia, and this is not just important in Europe. Neuroscience must aid educational research and policy. There must be proof. Social policy, neuroeconomics, the use of the mind to make trust, fairness, and justice as the main area of successful society via neurobiological research. So neurobiology is not forgotten, Prof Ishwar. Neurobiology is still there. This is not something that we go out without out to do something without neurobiology proof. Health, to promote and sustain the progress of research into understanding of the brain in the field of mental health. So these 10 scientists decided to do this. Why? Because, and published a letter in Science that I showed in the